Greetings from the far future. This is The Harrowing, and I'm your host, The Harrow Master. Well, last night I wasn't paying too much attention to the news because, well, frankly, I was a little burnt out. And so I hung out with my friends, watched a Godzilla movie, and then I talked with my favorite goblin for a while. Well, it turns out I missed a fairly big news update to the Doom Eternal story. Doom Eternal is having Denuvo anti-cheat taken out, according to Marty Stratton, who said that the reaction from fans was, quote, extremely negative. Yeah, it is. When you, change the conditions under which you're selling the game drastically, people aren't going to like that. He also claims that the performance issues were not related to Denuvo anti-cheat. I have no idea how accurate that is. It's suspicious that a company that developed Denuvo DRM that causes significant performance hits also developed this anti-cheat solution, and that it coincided with significant performance hits. But hey, it's not impossible that it's a coincidence. I'm just skeptical. According to Bethesda, the patch will be out within a week of yesterday. So I am planning on completely abandoning my attempts to get a refund until May 27th. And if during that time Denuvo anti-cheat is removed from the game, I plan on changing my not recommended review to a recommended review. And I would suggest that if you're watching this that you do that too, if you've already left a not recommended review. Now, if you want to leave your not recommended review, I completely understand why, because it is absolutely unacceptable that this even had to come up. However, I feel like reviews, as I've said before, should reflect what the person who's a prospective customer can expect from the game. And quite frankly, this shitty behavior, while it is absolutely unacceptable, will no longer be representative of the game if the Denuvo anti-cheat is removed, and especially if the things causing the performance hit are gone. So I would not feel comfortable leaving my negative review up. So my current plan is, if and when this update happens, I will go in, I will change to a positive. I will not remove the old text, but I will update the text to indicate that my previous complaint has been removed, and unless it comes back, any prospective player can expect to have the same great experience that they had up until update 1. Now, Marty Stratton, who was in charge of id Software, also said this was not a Bethesda idea. That I'm exceptionally skeptical of. And I say that because they didn't do anything like this with Doom 2016. They didn't add anti-cheat after the fact. And I honestly have trouble thinking that they think that battle mode is some super hyper popular thing that everyone was worried about cheaters in, and that, there were all these people complaining about the unfair exploits that other players were using. Because quite frankly, it was an afterthought for most people. I don't know too many people who were really into battle mode. Even among the people who are really into Doom Eternal, they mostly seem to play battle mode because it's usually tied to 1 or 2 weekly challenges. That's the only reason I've ever done it. I don't really like the mode, it's not my thing. I'm especially not very fond of playing as a demon, mostly because I don't have too many friends who I can play with directly. Because in my circle of friends, honestly, the genre of game that Doom Eternal is, the sort of Twitch-based arena shooter, I'm really the only person who plays a lot of that. And that's fine. I mean, they don't have to play the same games as me. We play a lot of other games together. But it does mean that I don't really have a dedicated teammate to coordinate with as Demon. And I'm not a big fan of going on voice chat with strangers, and you also don't really have time to do text chat in the game. And what that means is that when I play demons, which, if I'm just doing random, it's going to be 2/3 of the time, I'm with someone who I really have trouble coordinating with. So it's really not the game mode for me, and hey, that's fine. It doesn't have to be. So Marty Stratton has also said that in the future, they will not be implementing anti-cheat unless it is for some specific purpose with previous feedback, and it will not be an always on for single player experiences or even for less competitive modes. So I don't actually expect it to be much of a thing for invasion mode if you put that on. I think they're going to rely on people blocking, as well as doing things like enabling such activities as friends-only invasion mode. So only people on your friends list can come and invade your campaign in this invasion mode. Which is fine for me, because I'm working on getting a broader group of Steam friends, basically associated with some other things I do beside this channel, where there will be a broader palette of people who play a lot of different kinds of games, some of whom will play Doom, and they can come and invade me and whatever, and I can block them if they start to become harassers or it's obvious that they're cheating. Like, if I hit them with 4 BFG shots or something and they're just not going down, and I follow it up with, 8 missiles, super shotgun blasts, and ballista shots, and they're still there, well, yeah, something's fishy. I can just block that person. And whatever, I'll take the death in the campaign. So hopefully that doesn't require anti-cheat, because it's still really a single-player campaign experience. It's just one that's enhanced by someone coming in from outside. Also, I don't really think that cheating has been a big problem in Doom 2016. There aren't any esport events with it. There aren't any ladders. So even if you cheat, it's just to troll people. So I don't really think there's been a whole lot of that going on, which is one of the reasons that everyone was like, who asked for this? So hopefully, id Software is being honest about this. But like I said, I'm suspicious that this wasn't something that Bethesda asked to have implemented. Because if you look at the quo bono for putting in an invasive anti-cheat into a primarily single-player game, it's the kind of company that wants to do things like prevent you from cheating in single player so that they can force you into a microtransaction store for, say, an upcoming sci-fi RPG experience, which you can pretty well guarantee will have some crappy monetization ideas like, oh hey, XP boosters, you want some free money? Why don't you give us some real money? Yeah. I fully expect Starbound, which is Bethesda's next big project as a development house, to be riddled with scammy, abusive, loot box type monetization. Full of things that will affect gameplay, and their excuse will be, well, it's a single player experience. And since your experience isn't affected by other people using these optional microtransactions, then it's fine. When in fact what it means is they've made an intentionally shitty game that you can make into a reasonably not shitty game by sending them extra money beyond the initial, what will almost certainly be a $60 buy-in price. So at this point, I do not believe Marty Stratton when he says that Bethesda had nothing to do with this. It's possible, but it seems extremely unlikely. And I'm still going to recommend that until Bethesda gets their head out of their asses regarding things like Fallout and their PR guys not calling everyone whiny assholes because they ask for details about games that Bethesda themselves have already announced, that you just not buy Bethesda-developed games. It has for a while now been the only exception for me in terms of buying Bethesda games. Bethesda remains one of the shittier publishers in the entire gaming world. So I'm not completely boycotting Bethesda, but I'm not going to buy anything they develop until they really, really, really get their shit together. And quite frankly, if stuff like this keeps happening with id Software, I'm going to be very suspicious about it. I had on my Steam wishlist the year 1 pass or whatever for Doom Eternal. It's off of there, and I don't think I'm going to put it back on, because even when DLC comes out, I'm now going to be suspicious of a day 1 purchase for even the DLC, because I don't know what they're going to do in the following few months or weeks or whatever. So unfortunately, I'm probably going to have to wait for sales on those things to justify the purchase. Because otherwise, what am I going to do if they completely break the game with some stupid DLC in some way that's barely even related to the actual DLC? And I would suggest honestly that you do the same thing. If you're thinking about buying Doom Eternal at this point, I wouldn't buy it at full price. They no longer deserve that, and it's unfortunate because it's a really great game, but wait for a sale, honestly. Wait until it's, 25-50% off on a Steam sale, wait for the Steam Summer sale, or next Christmas sale or whatever. And I really hate saying that because it really is one of my favorite games in over a decade. I think it's better than 2016. I think 2016 does have its strengths, and some of them are strengths that I don't think Doom Eternal matches. But overall, I would say that Doom Eternal is the stronger game of the two. I haven't played Doom VR, so I can't speak to it, but from what I've heard, it's basically Doom 2016, but with a worse interface, which doesn't super surprise me since VR is it's a funny beast when it comes to shooters. So, anyway, I think that's it for me. I just wanted to let anyone who was following me, all half dozen of you, know that I am currently suspending my efforts to get a refund. It was always a refund because this game had basically been stolen from me because I wasn't going to be installing Denuvo anti-cheat, and if I can play it without doing that, then I don't really feel like I need my money back. Although I do feel like there should be something more than just an apology for all of the time I wasn't able to play Doom. But, I don't know. Bethesda sucks, so I don't expect it. So anyway, you can call off the hounds of refunds and everything, at least for now. If you haven't left a review on the game, I would say refrain from doing so until after this promised update comes, or at least until after its promised date. And like I said, Marty Stratton said about 10 hours ago, as of the time of this recording, that would be in a week, and that would make it the 27th of May. That he's promising that that's the deadline for this new update. And allegedly it's going to also fix all of the current performance issues. I don't know if it's going to do anything about the corrupt save files. But you know what? I can start new games of Doom Eternal. It's not a super long campaign, even on harder difficulties. So I don't mind that much if I lose my save files. I wasn't super attached to any of them. Although it is odd that you can only have like 3 save files, but whatever. It's just a odd little quirk of the game. I don't really care. Well, that's all for me. If you like this video, why don't you hit subscribe and like and tell me in the comments and all that. You know, do the YouTube stuff. Or don't. I don't know. You can say hi in the comments or call me an asshole. I don't really care. I'm not here to make everybody happy. Just go away.